Shalom, shalom, Israel. This is your brother Nayako. Doing this video right now to um, just basically warn you all about the danger that is in front of you right now, that you all may not see, just like you may see. Um, in no way, I'm going to make this very, very, very clear. In no potential way is the Father ever looking to lead his flock into war. And I mean that. I know y'all read about a lot about the Old Testament and the scriptures and things like that, but a father, if you really take the nature of the Most High and label his character as father, no father, no right father in his right mind seeks to lead his son to war. And I want y'all to pay attention to what's going on. And if you all could put the hand that's guiding the helm of the sheep that are in the world today, if you all could put your thumb on it and pinpoint who exactly these people are, you will see that man, in a sense, is being led or driven into a specific point, okay? In the lost sheep are falling right for it. They're diving right into it. We've gone centuries, millennia, people, with nothing happening, and I'm gonna speak, you know, with the black perspective on this one, because Black Lives Matter is a part of the reason why I'm actually doing this video right now. We have Malcolm X, we have Martin Luther King, Marcus Garvey, we have Frederick Douglass, Booker T. Washington, and so many different black leaders, W.E.B. Du Bois, and all of these different black leaders who have risen up to try to seek justice and salvation for us as a people. When you all realize the power that's in the hand of the wicked, you will understand that when things happen while they are still in rule, best believe there's an agenda behind it for their sole purpose of ruling over man for as long as they possibly can. And the thing is, a lot of y'all are falling for this trick that they have before you, this deception. Everything in that's happening for worldly's sake is deception. The Most High will do nothing to forward the agenda of the world, whereas the world would do nothing to forward the agenda of the heavenly kingdom of the Most High. Each of these kingdoms are separate. You understand what I'm saying? And the Most High would not put his hand out to aid any worldly matter, for these things are beneath his feet. And so, being beneath his feet, there is no possible way that the Father is moving for the sake of worldly for a worldly agenda, or for a worldly sustenance, or to help the world move and go about its constant course in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Both of these kingdoms are absolutely separate. So when you all do something in the world and you give God praise, you are not giving the Most High praise or the Father praise or the Heavenly Father praise. No, you're not. You are giving the God of this world praise as opposed to the Most High praise. You are giving Satan, the ruler, not God, but the ruler of this world. Because Satan is not the God of this world, but instead he is the ruler of this world. Okay? And then those who choose to make the ruler their God, he becomes a God only unto them, but he has no power. No power. Understand? But the power that we allow him to have. So Satan is a ruler in that he's been allowed to rule in every man's life. And so to forward the agenda or worldly, any worldly agenda in any essence is against the nature of the Heavenly Father. And I say that so that you all could recognize the deception that's happening in the earth. And because all of you are engulfed in the anger of God, you all follow leaders that speak towards the agenda of things that are happening in carnal life in the world. And so you all join with the causes that are risen in this earth and in the world, and by doing so you are deceived. Yea, but the Father says, come out of her. Do not be deceived by the world or Babylon. You understand? There is no black white cause. There is no rich poor cause in the world so that man can live safe in the world. The Most High is trying to get rid of the world completely. Worldly mentality, worldly nature, worldly lifestyle, worldly agenda. He's trying to get rid of everything carnal so that heavenly kingdom a whole brand new system can be brought about. And so when man fights so that he lives safe in the world, he is in error. When man fights so that he lives rich in the world, he is in error. When man fights for any worldly ambition, he is in fact in error and absent from the Father. In fact, outside of the Father and in the world. So, all that to say, all of this Black Lives Matter stuff that's going on, so as to make me feel, and I'm speaking personally. And hopefully in my personal speaking, I may provoke my brethren to reason and think the exact same way. If I gotta go through this Black Lives Matter so that I can live free and safe on this earth, it is no value to me. So that I can live the rest of my days out in peace and safety, it is no value to me. If the agenda is not to forward my heavenly kingdom, then it is null and void to me. So when you get all of these statues finally coming down after centuries and centuries and centuries, don't you understand that in the kingdom that is being ruled by the worldly, nothing happens unless they allow it? And if they allow it unto their own benefit and agenda. So when you see all of these things happening worldly for carnal means and to spark up fire, see, black people are a flame that can be easily kindled. And all the carnal, all the rulers and powers and principalities have to do is push that kindling button. And they know that what kindles black people is they're finally getting what they've been panting and begging for years and years and years. To finally get them that. And when they see that they're finally getting that, they know they can pin black up against white or one kingdom up against the next easily. Yo, they can set the divide in a kingdom that they're losing control of in order to gain that control again. and what they deem as a new system, a new way of life. I'm gonna tell you like this: the things that are happening are carnal. The solutions that come about as on account of the things that are happening will be carnal. Nothing is heavenly except that man be brought out of the world completely. Y'all sitting here, y'all getting ready to go through this Black Lives, or we're now facing an era where they're pulling down statues that were always up. Understand me? These statues were always up, but now all of a sudden, in the same court system that is no value to the godly and the righteous man, in that same court system, they finally allow these things to start happening. If they allow these things to happening, best believe there's agenda behind it. Best believe there's great deception behind it. And all of you are falling for the greatest deception that's out there. By sitting here allowing yourselves to be brought into this system and coerced and enticed and tricked. See, because if the serpent was wise and cunning in all of his speech towards Eve so as to trick her, best believe that his wisdom and his cunning has arisen in a degree so great that if it were possible, the very elect will be deceived. But as long as the elect stand outside of the world, they can see all of the movements that pertain to the world as opposed to pertaining to the kingdom of the Most High. Now, here's the question. When you look at all that's happening in the earth, all of the statues that's coming down, is this forwarding the kingdom of heaven, or in fact the kingdom of earth, so that black people can feel like they're accepted in this world? So that, look, as long as you feel like you're rejected by this world, you're going to seek something higher. And to keep you from seeking something higher, we got to accept you. Isn't that what they did when we fought for better jobs, right? In order to keep us quiet and keep us docile and away from seeking something better and separating, like as in Tulsa, Oklahoma, right? To keep us from separating, what did they do but give us the jobs? They gave us the jobs that we wanted, that they had, and they created higher positions for themselves. And so they're getting ready to, they're setting the stage right now to give black people some type of push forward. And then they're going to, they've already, I guarantee you, created a higher position for themselves. And so y'all falling for the same tricks your enemies did to you since day one. Nothing is new about what you're doing right now. Nothing is new. Even if you want to tear up the streets and go loot all of these places and these things like that, all of you are in error, because the approach is no different from the approaches that was in the days of old. You are doing nothing new, and you are fighting for nothing new but your worldly status. You are fighting for absolutely nothing new. And I guarantee you, when all of the names of the highly esteemed leaders that have come and gone have done nothing new but fight for worldly status. None of them fought for the kingdom of heaven because they knew not how. None of them fought for the glory of God because they knew not how. Neither was it a thing on their mind. Everybody wants to fight for self. Everybody wants to fight for their own place in this world. And by doing so, you all are being deceived and led exactly to where the enemy wants you to be. I say, get out of the world. Stay out of the world. Don't listen to none of these leaders that are out here teaching you in error and causing anger to rise up in you, and to where you at the point to where you ready to go to war. Don't do it. Don't let them entice you. Yea, stay away from the world, stay out of the world, and stay separate and in the Father. And I guarantee you, see, when you're in the love of God, the anger of God cannot see you. When you're in the anger of God, the love of God cannot see you. Which means that those who are fed by the anger of the Most High, Those of you who are fed by the anger of the Most High, I guarantee you, being in that frequency, his love cannot reach you. And those of you who are fed by the love of God, being in that frequency, his anger cannot reach you. And when I say his anger, that means his departing. Everything that derives from him having been departed is all a part of him understanding what would happen if he withdrew his hand. And he says, I will see what their end will be. You understand what I'm saying? When I withdraw my hand. So that's the thing that I need y'all to understand. That's the thing I need y'all to get. That what's happening right now, though it may seem like we're gaining feet, we're gaining ground in the world right now. Black people, it may seem like you're gaining ground in the world right now, but I guarantee you it's all a part of the master plan that the worldly, the leaders have. You understand what I'm saying? It's all a part of their master plan to give you ground while they rise. They're probably already risen. I'm guarantee you, they're probably already in a place where they're risen above the ground that they're trying to give to you now. And you all are falling for it. Yea, if man would just leave everything in the world alone, drop everything, everything that they have in the world, drop it and leave it all alone and just focus on the Most High and the glory of God and all of these things. If man would just do that, I promise you, you will see what I'm talking about. You will understand who is moving the hand of this worldly status we seek to gain in the world, but them that are of the world, who see this kingdom and say, hey, I want my days to be precious in this kingdom. I want my life to be of meaning and of worth in this kingdom. I want my kids to have to have wealth. I want my kids' to have wealth, right? Or status, or stature in this world. I want my kids to have these things. And so I will fight this day. I'll go out and I'm going to vote, right? Everything that pertains to world, the world this and the world that. But if every man would just leave every government be. I'm talking about try this. Picture everybody in the world turning their back on every government in this world and only focusing on the Most High. That's the kingdom of heaven. Where man no longer seeks help and solace and support from any government in this world, but they only seek support from the one who is God alone. That's the kingdom of heaven. And so if any man is fighting, if any man stands up and they fight for a worldly thing, understand God will have no hand in it. He will have no forethought in it, no post-thought in it, nothing with regards to anything that pertains to this world. The Most High sees this world and it is as dung to him, and he seeks to wipe it all out and start anew as he did with Noah. I guarantee you there is nothing that's going to sustain this world. Even if we gain ground and got the thing that we seek, what then? Huh? Have we saved our souls? Have we done righteousness? Have we done good? Or are we transformed and renewed in our minds towards the Most High? Have we gained approval of God himself? Have we done that? If this is not the agenda, then you are wasting your time. You are absolutely wasting your time. If you concern yourselves with what they're doing out there, you are lost in here. You understand what I'm saying? And in here, in your heart, you are lost. If you all would understand that, you will see exactly what I'm saying. If you all would understand that just a little bit, you would see. Stop fighting to remove these statues, for they will all be trampled over by the Most High regardless. Stop fighting for your status, for the Most High is going to destroy the wicked. And yea, you wicked are prepared for hell. You will be turned into hell, and so you are being right now. As the leaders and the wickednesses in high places seek to guide you and coerce you and cause you to move the way that they want you to move and destroy yourselves so that they would have to do no work. so that they would have to take no effort. Right now, obviously, they're saying within themselves, now is the time to stir black people up. And when we stir up black people, white people will be stirred up too. And when we stir up white people, Asian people will be stirred up too. When we stir up Asian people, Hindu people will be stirred up too. And so they're stirring up all of the people in the world right now unto their own destruction, when we were all meant to be brothers and sisters, right? But no, none of y'all want to believe that. Everyone wants to go one against another. But as long as when I know that my Father's hands has touched the creation that stands before me, which is all things, then I could reason aright. I could move aright in the Father. And so I'm telling y'all this: be not deceived. Don't let this world lead you astray towards its worldly agendas and ambitions. Take your time. You're good. Towards this worldly agenda. You understand what I'm saying? This is a worldly agenda that we're all moving and being in the flame that's being kindled towards worldly agendas. And if a flame in you is kindled towards a worldly agenda, I guarantee you it is not the flame of love, but of anger. That's why you all want to pick up guns. Because the flame that's enkindling you is anger, not love. Because if love enkindled you, you would turn your guns and your weaponry and all of your spears and pruning hooks into plowshares, so that you all can have wherewith to begin to cultivate and grow life again. Anything that's leading you towards killing your brother or the next man is not of God. Because he is not enticing the righteous to destroy anyone or anything. They are only sitting down watching and observing what's going on. And the wicked will be their own destruction. They will be their own destruction. Not the righteous their destruction. The righteous will be their decree. And that decree will be their own destruction. They will destroy themselves. You need not lift a single finger. I guarantee you the Father is not leading you to war. Hear me now. The God that we serve, the one who is Father and whose hands have created us all, is not sitting up on his throne right now, looking down on man, seeking to lead them all to war. I promise you that. But no, they are all led to war of their own enticings. You understand what I'm saying? When the Father does a righteous thing in the earth, or when he begins to move, or when he begins to approach the earth, and the wicked know it, that's why they're moving like they're moving. You see, as the Father approaches the earth, the Antichrist, knowing that he has a short time, will run rapid, because he knows that the king is coming home. Yeah, and so the thief, when the thief knows that the master is coming home, and he knows, and the master comes home early, he will run and destroy everything and try to take as much as he can before the master approaches and comes home. You understand what I'm saying? And so that thief called Satan, who stole, he knows that the master is approaching, and now he's kicking and screaming right now, and you all are joining right with him, kicking and screaming. Be not moved. Be still. Do not let your flame be enkindled more than it should be. Do not let him entice you into anything that deals with this world. Step back, watch them flow. They're flowing and being tossed to and fro as raging waters in a sea where there's a storm. You understand what I'm saying? They're being tossed to and fro, and they're all going with the wind. If it's not this, it'll be another thing. If it's not another thing, it'll be the next. And so stop flowing with all of these people. God is a God of love, and that's all he's about, love. And if you don't act on love, then you're losing your soul. If you allow yourself to act in anger, you will enkindle the wrong flame, or a flame that's raging and coursing in you so strongly that you won't have any choice but to act. And so you all are going to be marked in the anger of God and turned into hell and then thrown into the lake of fire. if you do not act now and separate yourself from all of the course, the goings and comings of the many different circumstances in this world right now. Because understand you me, there are circumstances happening after circumstances after circumstances after circumstances. And once this Black Lives Matter passes, you're gonna fall into another circumstance, because it goes from viruses to Black Lives Matter, and then from that to what else? Then what's next? Then what's next? And all of you are gonna be flowing right with that tempest. And you're not gonna stand still. And so these are the very angels that will cleave to men, and men will die as these things pass. The more these things pass, men will say, oh, this is the fight that's mine. I'm going to join in this fight. That's the fight that's mine. I like that fight. I'm going to join in. Oh, that's my cause. That's my cause. This my everything but the glory of God. Yea, but when the glory of God is, when that fight is ready to happen, it will not be a fight fought with guns and with weapons, no, but with love and with good deeds and with righteousness. That's the fight I'm going to join when it's time to act according to righteousness. So every man is getting his chance to fight according to his heart's desire right now, as these many tempests come and go. And you all are going to join right with every tempest, right? You're going to join with the one that's the apple of your eye. Yeah, that's my cause, right? Right? That's what I want to fight for. Gay rights. I want to fight for black. I want to fight for white. I want to fight for this. I want to fight for everything but the glory of God. Every man wants to fight for his own selfish cause, except for the glory of God, where man renounces himself and loves his brother regardless of what happens. Who overcomes his own selfish pride and his own nature, his own bestial nature, right? To enter into him in humane nature and love the next man, no matter whom he sees before him. He acts and responds in love. You see, a lot of y'all, you should make a choice between light and darkness, but I guarantee you, the majority of y'all don't even know how to make a choice. And so you're left with choosing darkness because you don't even know how to choose the light. That's your problem, because you've lacked. It takes intelligence and study to choose the light. You cannot choose the light in ignorance, because the light is understanding. The darkness is ignorance. You must come out of ignorance in order to choose the Most High, because he can only be chosen in understanding. Peace and blessings.